Howdy. This is going to be balancing on one leg at a time, many different ways. And I'll start basic and then we'll get more challenging. So standing anywhere on your mat for now, we'll root down both legs, front thighs pressing to the back, engaging, spread out the toes. Stand tall, take up space. The simplest thing we're going to do first is just alternate heel lifts, kind of rolling that foot onto the ball as you lift one heel at a time and switch it out. Just warming up those lower leg muscles. And then you can do toe lifts one at a time, alternating, toes lifting up towards the shin. Good. And then after those, we're going to do one knee lifting up. And this can be, starting just a tiny bit or as high as you want. And then root that leg down into the earth as you lift the other one up. Arms wherever you want for balance. It's often easiest to start out just looking like a gaze out on the floor in front of you. And it also helps to squeeze the pelvic floor, like you're holding in the P, squeezing the pelvic floor muscles together. Lower belly lifting up, belly drawing in towards the spine. All of that can help with our balancing. Great, and then we're going to try a straight leg to the side, warming up those outer hip muscles. Lifting up the crown of the head, staying tall as you alternate. Great. And then we're going to do some walks back and forth on our mat or on your space, like 4 steps at a time in all different ways. So the first one is just going to do a straight leg back and then step it down. Straight leg back, step it down. If you're on a yoga mat, we're doing it 4 times. And then you're at the back of your mat. And then we'll do straight leg up in front, step it down, like so. One side might be easier than the other. And again, the height is your choice and often depends on your hamstring flexibility, right? And one more time like that with the straight leg. Good. And then the straight leg walking forward, leg lift up and down. Athletes do this one as an active way of stretching the hamstrings by contracting the quadriceps, often opposite muscle groups. If one side contracts, then the opposite muscle group relaxes. Reciprocal inhibition is the fancy term. Now we're going to do bent legs. So you're going to bend heel up to the sky, bending the knee, and then step it down. Other side, step it down. Again, we'll do 4. And then you're at the back of your space. Now bent knee lift up, stepping down in front of you. And about 4. We'll do those one more time. Bending the knee, heel lifts. Again, that can be as high as you want. Keep squeezing the pelvic floor, lower belly up, belly button in towards the spine. And then bent knee comes up in front and steps down in front of the other foot. And I'm going a little bit fast. You can always pause and do these slower or take a break, pause it. And then we're going to do left foot in front, right foot in back. And you're just going to shift your weight front to back a few times. So the heel can come up Toes can come up. And as you get comfortable with that, keeping that belly engaged, up and in, you can then lift the other foot all the way off the floor. Good. Don't forget to breathe. Sometimes when we're focused so much on balancing, we forget to breathe. Then you got to do a full breath out in order to get a full breath in. Good. Switch out the feet. So let's do right foot in front. And first, just do that weight shift. And then you can do the whole lift of the foot and leg off the floor as you get comfortable. And after those, we're gonna do one foot in front of the other. Let's actually go to the back of the mat, back of your space, and try one foot right in front of the other. And this is a little bit harder. Again, squeezing the pelvic floor can help. Arms out to the sides can help. Growing tall can help. One foot right in front of the other, walking like that. And then you could try it backwards too. Toes right behind the heel. Good. One more time forward. And then last time backwards. Toes right behind the heel. Like you're on a balance beam for this one. Which we don't do that much in yoga, but it is good for the brain and the muscles and balancing. So before we do a lot of bending over on one leg, we'll stretch out the hip with the balancing butt stretch, I call it, or the balancing figure 4 stretch, which we sometimes do laying on our backs, ankle just above the other knee, and then you sit your hips back as far as you want. Stretching out, in this case, it's my left buttocks. And yeah, it requires a lot of balance. You could hold on to a chair or something if you're concerned about falling. And then same thing, other side. Good. Now, that might be enough to practice for balancing. If you have lower back or sciatic or hip issues, then you don't want to do the next few exercises until you do my hip balancing video and get your abdominals really strong in one of my abdominal videos, okay? But this is gonna be some yoga where we go between half moon pose and a squat with one knee behind the other knee, sometimes called Shiva Squat. So if I am coming into this kind of high lunge position and then bring my left knee behind the right knee, like so. This is a position where you could try to balance in your Shiva Squat and bring your hands off the floor. And then if that's possible, you could expand into half moon and then come back to the Shiva Squat. Ardha Chandrasana is half moon. You could have a block under this hand and then try to balance in the Shiva Squat. Excellent. Now, the next one is, I find it really challenging. From the Shiva Squat, can you bring your hands to your thigh, stand all the way up, and lift that other knee? And that's a lot of strengthening for that hip of the leg that was on the floor. I'm gonna kick it out and relax for a moment, and I'll show you that on the other side. So now I'm gonna be on my left leg with my right knee behind the left knee. So this left leg has all my weight. I can try to balance here. And I can expand half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Back to Shiva Squat, knee behind the other knee. Option to lift the hands. Half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Good. And then from the Shiva Squat, can I come hands to the leg, lift that other knee up? So that's a big challenge, I think. And it does require the lower back to be supported by the engaged abdominals and a lot of hip and butt strength. So you want to make sure you have that before throwing those up and down. All right, I think that's enough for today. And well, actually, one more thing would be balancing on one leg and then closing your eyes. My physical therapist for my knees actually had me doing this because it's so much harder and builds more muscle strength when you close your eyes. So I usually do it in a corner where there's two walls coming into a corner, so I can have a little bit of help with balance if I want to. But you can try that simple leg lift. You can then soften the standing leg. It doesn't have to be locked, just like you would on a ski, a boat, a paddleboard, a surfboard. And then try closing the eyes. And it's like, whoa. Often it's wobbly right away until you get used to it. And like I said, if you do it with the two walls there, you can see how it does get easier over time. And then other leg, of course. You can first find your balance on one leg with the eyes open, soften the standing leg, and then close your eyes. It is very hard for me. But you'll feel all your muscles around the foot, ankle, knee, whole leg are going to work in a totally different way to support you. And it gets easier over time. All right. Good stuff. As we age, keep our balance and our strength. Bye.